Solve this rational equation for x. In this equation, you can see expressions with x in both denominators, here and here. In order to solve this equation, you need to remove x from the denominators, combine all the x terms into a single term with x, and then solve for x. So we need to multiply both sides of the equation by 2x and by x minus 1. Like this. Let's start with 2x and then multiply by x minus 1 on the left side. And on the right side, we do the same thing. Multiply by 2x and by x minus 1. When you do this, some terms divide out. So on the left side, we get the 2x terms dividing out, and we're left with 1 times x minus 1. Or x minus 1 here, plus the x minus 1 terms divide out, and you're left with 2x times 1, or 2x. That's on the left side. On the right side, we distribute the negative 1 and the 2x to these terms. So we get negative 2x squared minus 2x times minus 1 is plus 2x. We combine x terms here, so we get 3x minus 1 equals negative 2x squared plus 2x. Using the reflexive property of equations, I can simply write this on the left side of the equation, negative 2x squared plus 2x, and this on the right side of the equation, 3x minus 1. Now I want to get rid of this 3x term from the right side, so I subtract 3x from both sides, and I get negative 2x squared minus x equals minus 1. Finally, I add 1 to both sides of the equation to get negative 2x squared minus x plus 1 equals 0. Do you see what this is? This is a quadratic equation which may have as many as 2 roots. The way to find the roots is to use the quadratic formula, which is written this way: minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. A is negative 2, b is negative 1, and c is positive 1. So plug in those values into the formula. So we get minus negative 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 1 squared minus 4 times negative 2 times 1 divided by 2 times negative 2. Simplifying, we get negative 1 becomes 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 minus 4 times negative 2 is plus 8. Under the square root sign, 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Simplifying further, we get 1 plus or minus the square root of 9. That's an easy square root to figure out, over negative 4. So the roots of this equation are 1 plus or minus 3 divided by negative 4, which then becomes 1 plus 3 over negative 4 and 1 minus 3 over negative 4. This simplifies to 4 over negative 4, and this simplifies to negative 2 over negative 4, and finally we get the solutions to this rational equation, x equals -1 or x equals positive 1/2. So sometimes rational equations, which start out with linear terms, end up becoming quadratic equations that you can solve by using the quadratic formula.